Everybody, just letting you know that if you have not watched the previous parts of this, I say long, but relatively short series of videos, I would highly recommend you go back further to what. Well, when I say go back to, I probably should say the playlist. Go and watch the rest of the playlist to hear my thoughts, opinions on the other DC animated movies. But hey, if you have, then congrats. We're here now. We're at the end game, and here we are. So, with that being said, never mind. I need the lights on so you guys can see my stupid face. Cute. What intro? Hey guys, Axel Stanley here, and yep, as I've just said, we're in the endgame now. We made it to the finale of this frickin' miniseries of mine. And I'm actually surprised it took me this long to get this far, but hey, better right now than ever, I guess. With that being said, though, what the movie that we are talking about is the big finale to this movie animated universe. And of course, my thoughts on it. Of course, I'm gonna have expectations. I mean, we've seen the highest point relating to Batman vs. Robin and Justice League War, Throne of Atlantis. Like, I can name countless movies at this point that have definitely done well to earn its spot. And of course, we've seen its low points with Wonder Woman, Blood. That one Wonder Woman movie that I will not mention again. Should I? Not want to have an aneurysm. That being said, though, what this movie, series of movies has actually introduced me to a lot of elements to the DC universe that I will admit I was not familiar with. So, yeah, this movie, franchise ended with the Big Bang. Well, how big of a bang was it? Allow me to explain, my dear viewer. Of course, as per usual, you'll have to kind of take my word for it on how it goes, because, well, unfortunately, I'm still, working with a, editing tool, so I can't really just go completely bananas with the editing in hopes of getting it working. That's what happens when I have to do stuff on the phone, I guess, but well, that being said, though, how the movie begins is kind of a very interesting one. The first 10 minutes, you would have already made the jump to guess that, hey, this movie's going to be about the possible upcoming war against the planet Apocalypse, ruled over by the one and only tyrant himself, Darkseid. And, of course, like Darkseid usually does, he finds a loophole in a lot of things. And that loophole is apparently Cyborg. And I will admit, this actually caught me off guard at first as well. Like, I legitimately had to remember back when Justice League War happened, and when Cyborg, or at least Cyborg, or at least how Cyborg was made. And then it dawned on me, like, of course, the technology from Apocalypse is what made Cyborg Cyborg. Oh my gosh. I will admit, I kind of like that continuity. However, though, it means that when the Justice League reach Apocalypse, though, it kind of means they get big slaughter. And they sort of left the Teen Titans to defend Earth from its big slaughter. Yeah, unfortunately, the Teen Titans and the Justice League could not have seen it coming. This whole entire time, Darkseid knew what to do. When I thought the Darkseid was incompetent, it turns out he really wasn't. I guess he finally needed an opening to do this. And yeah, this actually goes into a jump skip of like 2 years ahead, which I did not expect a jump card time skip that big. Like, I'm actually shocked. And of course, it shows us John Constantine in a bar drinking his problems away because the love of his life, Satana, is believed to be dead. As John Constantine basically witnessed the whole entire massacre and basically ran off, not wanting to meet the same fate as the others. From this point on, we can definitely see within the flashbacks on how each member of the Justice League and Teen Titans were slain, or at least get an idea on how they were slain. The survivors of said apocalypse war were Superman and Raven. Yes, those two are apparently survivors. So they eventually talk John into going back and try and beat Darkseid a second time, because it worked so well the first time. Then again, it was Cyborg who basically gave them away, but aside the point. Anywho, so more and more details do transpire, right? And every once in a while, we actually get what's the Darkseid at work. Heck, we even get to see Darkseid basically bring ruin to the planet of the Green Lanterns. And I will admit, it is a very grisly scene to watch. Which, by the way, I probably should have said at the beginning of this video that this movie, or at least this video, will contain spoilers for said movie. So, with that being said, though, I probably should have said that at the beginning. But that being said, though, now that I've said my piece, as the movie does progress forward, and Superman, Raven, and John Constantine are starting to try and gather forces. Keyword try, because they're legitimately low on troopers. And at some point they actually come across an old ally who apparently became the leader of the League of Assassins. That being good old Robin himself / Damian Wayne. And yeah, but I will definitely admit the maturity in Damian Wayne up to this point is kind of grown on me. Heck, Damian Wayne's maturity is actually even more shown in this movie than in the previous films. At least I would argue that being the case. So yeah, Damian Wayne eventually gets recruited, and eventually we get to see the Suicide Squad into like this whole nother fold, and basically what they are like in now that Amanda Waller, yes, spoiler, Amanda Waller dies due to some sickness that I don't remember what it was. That being said, though, the remaining heroes are now relying on the Suicide Squad to bring in the big guns, because apparently, according to what was some scouting, in a sense, it looks like Darkseid is putting out 3 ginormous machines to basically bring the Earth to even greater ruin. Probably, in this case, blow it up. That being said, though, what in this case, however, it's kind of now what was shooken to the point where anything can go, and at some point, we kind of even get to see characters bond a little bit more. In this case, and probably one of my favorite cases, Raven and Damian. Like, oh my gosh. Extra big spoiler for what I'm about to say. Damian Wayne and Raven legitimately confess to each other on their feelings for one another. And I'm not gonna lie, I kinda called it at the when Justice League vs. Teen Titans was the thing, because yeah, I kind of will admit it was something I was hoping would happen, but I didn't expect it to happen. Like, yeah, it eventually got, and no joke, I was actually legit being like, okay, that's fine if they don't to have a connection to one another. But when this scene hit, I'm like, I kinda called it, dang it. That being said, on the other hand, the rest of the members are busy strategizing, figuring out what to do, because apparently, as we later find out within the behind the scenes, Batman is apparently being controlled by Darkseid himself. And lo and behold, does it show on how dangerous Batman's strategy can be when it's his mind but controlled with Darkseid. Lex Luthor also does play a role into this in a way that kinda works. And when I say kind of works, I mean eventually Batman starts getting suspicious of Lex Luthor on his end of the deal. Well, I don't remember what kind of deal it was, but it was something that revolved around it. But nonetheless, so we're definitely going to see an invasion of coming on again. Eventually, however, after enough strategizing, enough scouting, that the Suicide Squad remains on Earth, along with Lois Lane and Lex Luthor, to destroy the three ginormous machines that are probably going to bring Earth to death. That being also said, however, where the other remaining heroes eventually go to Apokolips, them being John Constantine and his giant yellow demon buddy, which I completely forgot the name of, but feel free to yell at me in the comments for not knowing his name. Superman, Raven, and Robin. And as it turns out, Darkseid did not completely kill them, because he basically made Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, Hawkman, Starfire, and plenty others into his very mind-controlled abominations. Oh boy, howdy! You did not sound well enough. Sound. Oh well. And as the movie does keep progressing forward, we start to ask, like, how are they gonna win this time? But but the majority of the Justice League and the Teen Titans couldn't beat this tyrant, what can they now? Well, the answer might surprise you, as said going even more further into the movie. Yet our remaining heroes, which at this point I'm not 100% sure if I got everyone. But at some point, John Constantine starts pulling the mind control plug from the brainwashed heroes. So, and up until this point, it looks pretty well. It looks like they're making the second win. Ron. Batman makes his presence known, and it became up to Damian Wayne to face off against his father one more time. And of course, the sword made out of kryptonite that comes into play. Eventually, when push comes to shove, Batman is now staring at his own son, dead in the eyes, and slowly starts to break out of the mind control. And what is supposedly one big emotional moment, because he saw what he was gonna do to Damian at the last moment. And basically chucks the kryptonite blade into Darkseid, therefore giving him one big scratch on one of them. And when you thought that it couldn't get any more emotional, Darkseid pulls out the Omega Beams, tries to aim for Batman, who is now free from mind control. Damian steps in between Batman and the Omega Beams and basically takes the hit. And Damian basically got himself roasted. Like burned to a crisp level, some kind of roasted. And Raven sees this and she breaks on the emotional scale. Which leads to now Trigon, who has been imprisoned inside that red crystal on Raven's head for a long time, to finally almost come to a break. Which Raven does warn John Constantine ahead of time over, where John does his magic with a magic dagger, where basically places a spell on the ground, putting where the diamond's at. And what looks like John Constantine was gonna have full control over, it quickly goes 180. When the basically Trigon basically grabbing John Constantine by the neck, cracking it, and then possessing Superman. Actually, sorry, it was the other way around. He possesses Superman, then he cracks John's neck. Great. And then the possessed Superman begins to fight Darkseid. And that fight is now happening. It's kind of terrifying. Batman now was seeing what Darkseid had done to Damian. He tries to get Damian to please hold in there. And in that moment, he dies in Batman's arms. And not gonna lie, the moment Batman stroked that singular tear down his face, I kinda lost it as well. Like, I don't see heroes like Batman get that emotional over anyone ever, at least to my knowledge. And to see Batman break like that in the most Batman way possible, I knew when that hit was deep. It was like one of the deepest cuts ever. So now, remaining heroes are now trying to figure out what are they gonna beat Darkseid, and now what with the suggestion of maybe a giant boom tube could destroy this planet. But this goes until Meanwhile, of all this, John Constantine is supposedly up in some kind of afterlife, and he is with Zatanna. And the whole interaction between the two is actually very sweet, to say the least, because John is actually hoping that there will be a pub in the afterlife, which there isn't. Then talks about making one. Then Zatanna being real with John Constantine, saying that they're gonna need him, whether he likes it or not. John obviously hates it that it has to be so, but well, at least we get the awesome line of like, well, Destiny can bugger the piss off, which I will admit it's kind of funny to me, to hear we're coming from John as well, as someone who is still trying to understand John Constantine and how it works. So eventually, Trigon is no longer possessing Superman, and of course, in the process of all this, and also a big fat meanwhile, Raven is basically somehow, I do not know how. I don't know if it's in her magical vocabulary to do this, but she basically becomes White Raven and resurrects Damian, healing him from all of his burns. And maybe it's the Shipper movie talking, but I really thought that it was really cute to see that happen. So now, what comes to the big plan? How are they going to beat the Darkseid once and for all? That one suggestion then pops open of bringing back Trigon, but this time he does not possess anyone and just fights Darkseid. At first, there was some little hesitation from Raven herself because, well, let's not kid ourselves, she knows him the most out of everyone. But then it's like, let's look at that, let's bring him back and make him fight Darkseid. What could go wrong? And hey, as it turns out, it does pretty well. Trigon's brought back to life, he's fighting Darkseid, and now they have some plans. Or at least some form of planning to do. So, yeah. But it is up until the point where they finally realize that probably one of the few only ways that they can beat Darkseid for sure, is to basically create a boom tube into this realm of nothingness. Which of course means that it's going to be the end for Cyborg as soon as this happens. And lo and behold, thanks to all of the power that's left in Cyborg, he manages to come up with the boom tube, and it starts to suck in not just Darkseid and Trigon, but also the entire planet of Apokolips as well. Which in this case, the other heroes, one of the few heroes that I failed to mention, that being the Flash, is now with them off the planet, and then now they're back on Earth safe and sound. With the Cyborg basically going out like a total badass machine. And I cannot stress how amazing how Cyborg's last moments on screen were. Because he basically single-handedly prevented Darkseid from going any further with his plan. However, though, what the original plan of bringing Ruin to Earth is still up a fold. Yeah, I kind of forgot this was a thing that happened. In the process of everything that happened on Earth, the Suicide Squad and other remaining heroes like Batwoman, Batgirl, Batwing, it's gone to the point where even Swamp Thing died from trying to basically rip these machines a new one. And unfortunately, despite all the efforts on all the heroes that were still on Earth, it's still doomsday for Earth. Not the monster doomsday. I mean, like the Earth is gonna blow up kind of doomsday. And now they are left with only one option, and probably the only option that they did have, which is basically have Barry Allen speed force his way out of there, and basically, go and restart time again. And lo and behold, we see the last few remaining moments of Starfire, where we're covering the what we can assume is a recovering insane Nightwing. Everyone else looking into the distance, and Robin and Raven sharing their first and most likely last kiss. And it all ends with a big flash of a light to end the movie. And that was basically Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. And in my honest opinion, this is probably the greatest animated DC animated film out of all the ones that I have mentioned. It was gripping, compelling, and it was just a lot of things done right. At least from my opinion. And I will gradually admit this is one of those movies that I could definitely go back to, fully understand what's going to happen regardless, and just appreciate the fact that it even got to this point to begin with. That heck, there's even some Kickstarters or basically there were some okay, sorry. Going off script a little. Basically, there's some GoFundMe's or Kickstarters or whatever the heck going around the internet saying that some of the events that have happened in this final movie should stay afloat. Like the one that I've mentioned probably, a couple times, the pairing of Damian Wayne and Raven that stays. And heck, I will gradually even admit this. It has actually inspired me to create an RPG based on this world. And basically, what if this world did not implode and everyone overreacted and the Flash is gone? And yeah, of course, I know some of my subscribers are part of that RPG. With that being said, though, do not expect me to live stream it, because last thing I want is my battery to kill over on my phone. And I imagine just staring at my face where I talk to my players is... And arguably, this is definitely the movie that basically... it's basically one of those movies that I can always go back to and remind myself why I'm a DC fan. It's because of characters like these, heroes like these, villains like these, for sure, but are what to make it comic book characters so memorable and compelling. Heck, I even argue what the entire animated universe of this caliber is worthy of binge watching, if you got a couple days to spare at least. So yeah. My final thoughts are... Let's get Wonder Woman Bloodlines and just go straight to this movie. You really have got to see this. And with that final little roast of one movie that definitely did not need to exist, I am Axel Stanley here. Where I hope you like this content. Like the video if you did. Share your thoughts in the comments down below. Share the content with your friends. Hit the notification bell to stay updated on my content. And of course, I hope you guys will stick around for the journey as we continue to keep moving forward, in a sense. See you guys. Up until next time.